These are all moving northeast at 35, and I confirmed that.
Okay.
Check, check.
Gotcha.
Got it. All right. Hello, everybody out there. Adam and Mia here, KSAT 12 Studios, tracking the latest severe weather that's west of San Antonio at the moment. And a big shout out to all of you on our YouTube page that are watching us as well. Shout out to you guys. And I'm sure a lot of you are asking, when is it going to get to San Antonio? When is it going to get to San Antonio? When is it going to get to my house? Well, we do expect it to arrive into western Bexar County around or a little before midnight. What do you think, Mia? Do you think around or before now?
Honestly, with how things have been going, I wouldn't be surprised if it was before midnight.
I think so too, a little bit before.
Truthfully.
I do think we could say a little before midnight. Now, if you're on the east side of town or eastern Bexar County, it's not going to be necessarily that soon. But anyway, that's what we've got coming. You can see the severe thunderstorms off to the west. Put this into motion. I know there's a lot of colors on the screen right now. There's a lot going on here. A lot of whiskers, as I call them, the lightning strikes. Ton of that.
And just for everybody who is hopping on, whether you're joining us on the app or you are joining us on our YouTube page, I do have our YouTube feed pulled up. So if you would like to ask a question at any point in time, I can monitor the comment section and we can try to get to those questions as well throughout this appcast.
All righty, let's do this, right? Here's what we have right now for the severe thunderstorms. This whole line is considered severe right now, stopping the loop, and I'm going to turn off the lighting so it's not as distracting. But this is approaching Rock Springs as we speak. Rock Springs, you're going to get this leading edge of the storm, which is really the worst part of it when it comes to the wind. Rock Springs, you're going to get most of that at 8:05 p.m. Lakey, you're still downstream, okay? This is moving through Bracketville as we speak. But if you're watching us in Lakey, the leading edge is going to make it to you. I'm going to redraw that. Lakey, you're going to have the leading edge. Let's do it right there at 8:42 p.m. Okay, so Lakey, 8:42 p.m. Concan, let's talk about Concan. Concan, there's that leading edge headed to the northeast pretty quickly, 8:46 p.m. Uvalde, it's not as clear cut because we still need the southern portion of this line to develop a little more and come together. We're getting some feeder cells coming in from the southeast, but it hasn't organized into the rest of the line yet. So these showers and storms are actually moving to the north. And by the way, there could be a little bit of a hail here west of Carrizo Springs and southwest of Crystal City. That is not headed your way at the moment if you're watching from Crystal City or Carrizo Springs. But we are expecting this to come together and further organize and then push eastward a bit more. Now, this is the big picture. Let's turn on the lightning, show you just how much lightning there is out there. And this is a lot more electrified than what we've been seeing lately in our neck of the woods. Look at that, 764 strikes, cloud to ground strikes just within this frame over the past 15 minutes. That's pretty electrified. It's coming together. It's been strengthening. Severe threat, of course, throughout all of South Central Texas through this evening on into tonight, probably making it to San Antonio around midnight, even a little bit before midnight, as we were just talking about. I'm going to switch us over to just looking at these warnings in particular. Here you go. This includes Lakey, northwestern Uvalde County, and even Rock Springs area, or just south of Rock Springs. That's till 8:30 p.m. We also have this severe thunderstorm that's in effect until 8:15 p.m. This is the one that's in Maverick County and parts of Zavala County as well, and even Dimmitt County. And we've got one more warning up here, which gets me on the topic. Hold off. This warning, 8:30 p.m. gets me on the topic. Mesoscale discussion coming out from the Storm Prediction Center. Watch probability, 80%. We already have warnings out there. We have half a dozen warnings. What's the point of a watch when you've already had warnings? I don't get it. Somebody please explain it to me. We've been watching this for days, talking about the potential for severe weather. Anyway, okay, so maybe we'll issue a watch. Don't get me wrong. It's just that part of this doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
Okay? It's nothing against the individuals. It's against the pipeline of information. Okay, anyway, notice we have a few lightning strikes way out in advance of this. This is always interesting to see. Sometimes we get these far away. We call them bolt from the blue, because you can get them many miles away from the actual thunderstorm. So that's why we always say if you hear thunder, you can get struck by lightning, because lightning causes thunder, and thunder is a result of the lightning. Anyways, I'm going to put a storm track on this for the communities that'll be downstream, affected by it. Draw that out for you. And kablammy. Okay, there's a lot of them here, and I know you have a small screen if you're watching on your phone on the app. Let's talk about Klein, 8:09 p.m. Laguna, 8:18 p.m. Camp Wood at 8:20, and then Lakey at 8:49 p.m. That's when the leading edge of the storm will get there. Primary risk here, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. That's the primary threat. And I'm going to switch this over now just to our base velocities to look at some of the winds within the storm. It's not situated ideally around the radar site just yet. We need it to get a little bit further away. And the winds are heading, the storms are heading that way, right? So the storms are heading that way, and the winds within the storm are going that way as well. But looks like we're getting some little bit of an easterly component here. Either way, bottom line, we've got some strong winds that could get up to 70 miles per hour. Not the best representation yet until that moves a little further away from the radar site, and you don't have to deal with the perpendicular flow as well. Either way, this is all headed eastward. Again, make it to San Antonio around midnight, probably a little bit before. Big picture shows it just coming together and coalescing off to the west. And this will be a quick hit of, well, moderate hit of wind, not necessarily too quick, but you'll feel the wind pick up very quickly, and then the heavy rain and maybe a little bit of hail scattered about within it, but hail's not a big threat. Whenever you have an organized line like this, usually the hail threat diminishes and the wind threat goes up a little bit. So this is far from San Antonio. It's not near us yet. If you're in San Antonio, nothing to worry about. You've got several more hours. A-okay. Like we've been saying, your Friday day will be fine. Your Friday night, there will be some issues, and we'll have the thunderstorms. So that's still far west of San Antonio. We're tracking it. If you're out at your baseball game, soccer game, you're seeing that there are, alerts on the map. You're okay around San Antonio and surrounding communities. Even checking our radar site locally, nothing popping up around town. So we're still in the clear for now, but we are expecting more development on the backside of this. So once it does hit San Antonio and move through, more development likely and lasting off and on into your Saturday. Let's get it. Where'd my clicker go? The other one. Here it is. Okay, let's get a view of the big picture. Talk about what's causing this. Notice this little dip in the upper level flow. That's thrown some energy our way, and it's going to continue to do so for several days. This isn't just a one and done situation. This is going to make some energy aloft, throw it our way, and it's going to be for several days because we've got this blocking high right here over Louisiana. This is going to basically stall out our weather pattern for a bit, and since we're in an active weather pattern, it's going to stall us in that active weather pattern, and we'll have numerous opportunities for showers and storms, but some good drought-denting rain and drought-busting rain on the way. Oh, hey, we have a watch overhead now. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yep.
Couldn't have issued that earlier. Got to wait till there are warnings, right? Sorry, just venting a little bit on I am an anti-watch person. I don't think we should have watches anymore. And I can get on that soapbox later on. Anyway, here's our futurecast. 10 o'clock, still just west of San Antonio. 11 to 12 is when it should be moving into San Antonio, and then communities eastward thereafter. The leading edge of it will be the strongest part, so expect the worst right up front with this storm when it arrives in San Antonio. Then on the backside into tomorrow, just some scattered areas of rain coming and going, periodic or intermittent, but heavy at times. There's going to be some heavy rainfall within here, so flash flooding, of course, is a concern, not just with the initial line, but throughout the day, Saturday, and even on into Sunday. Your Saturday, notice those storm chances elevated, 70 to 80% through noon. Then falling off a little bit in the afternoon, not as numerous in terms of the number of showers and storms, becoming just a little more scattered in nature, not as widespread and put together. 77, our high tomorrow. Looking ahead, Mother's Day, Sunday, cloudy, off and on showers, some thunderstorms, pockets of heavy rain. Same goes for Monday, if you want to be specific, 60% coverage on Sunday. 70% on Monday, and then 40% as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So that's what we have coming down the line. And I know a lot of you are probably just joining us because we have that severe thunderstorm watch that just came in. Okay.
And I'm checking out a lot of the comments here on our YouTube stream. Thank you everybody for tuning into that as well. And a lot of the comments that we've been getting, what is the overall severe weather threat with these storms? Primarily, it's a strong straight line wind threat. So we have seen the potential, and honestly, we've even gotten confirmation of wind gusts upwards of 65 to 70 miles per hour in some of the strongest parts of these storms. And yeah, we could have a little bit of hail embedded within this complex. But as Adam was saying, when you see these lines become organized like that, yes, heavy rain, yes, lightning, but really strong gusty winds is the primary thing there.
Yeah, so hail is not really our concern.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not as likely in these situations. Just a straight line winds. Okay, if you're just joining us, you got the notification from your KSAT Weather Authority app. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect. Yes, we've been watching for the potential for severe thunderstorms for days now, okay? Typically, a watch is issued before there are any warnings issued. Now, the difference between a watch and a warning. A watch means all the ingredients are there, they're just not mixed together yet. A warning means it's happening, it's inevitable, it's ongoing, it's happening right now. So a watch means we're just on the lookout for it, we're watching for it. People still don't know the difference between watch and warning, and I don't blame them. Even my own wife gets it mixed up, okay? She gets it mixed up. It's totally understandable. I just think we've been warning people for days that we could have severe storms tonight, so I don't think we need this whole watch business anymore to confuse people. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Good soapbox, good soapbox.
For now, I'm off. But bottom line, that severe thunderstorm watch doesn't change anything. Same message, same everything, nothing changes despite there being a watch now in effect. Same old message, same old pattern, same old line of storms that we're watching. Okay. Comment on YouTube. Let's see what you think. Should we have these watches anymore? Who knows the difference between a watch and warning? Raise your hand.
Yeah, y'all weigh in the chat. Y'all weigh in the chat.
Type it in if you do know the difference, because a lot of people don't. And again, I don't blame you, but I just get frustrated with these watches and because they confuse people and they're not issued when they should be. Okay. Rock Springs, you've got the wind approaching, the leading edge of the thunderstorms. Quick puff of wind there. Then you're going to have not necessarily quick, but you'll have the gusty wind at 60 to 70 miles per hour. Camp Wood, you are now not very far away. Let's see, Camp Wood here on the Edwards and Rial County line, talking 823. That's like 820 is when you can expect that to make it into Camp Wood. Lakey, let's time it out for you. 845, making it to Lakey. Concan, you're going to get hit as well. I know Concan, you're not in the warning area, at least not yet. That may change, but Concan, I'd expect this by 8:48 p.m. These are moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. This is starting to come together a little bit better now down to our south. You see these storms moving northwest, but this whole line propagating eastward as some of these storms move northerly within that. So it's propagating eastward, and we're starting to see that come together a little bit more. Bottom line for San Antonio, we're looking at about a midnight arrival, probably a little before midnight arriving in San Antonio. So if the line looked just like this by the time it made it here, which it's not, I can promise you that. If it did, we'd expect this, let's say right here. Yeah, by about 11 p.m. Now that's assuming it maintains that forward speed and everything else and all the same parameters, but it changes a little bit as it progresses. Okay, let's take a look at these storm reports. We talked about the wind gusts, already proof positive of the wind gusts. 59 miles per hour there, recorded at Del Rio. That was a 59. Here was a 62 mile per hour gust in Del Rio. Then we've got another one near Lake Amistad, and that was a 62 mile per hour gust as well. 62 mile per hour gust there. And it looks like a little flash flooding, flowing water over the low water crossing.
That's what I was just going to say. Looking and checking in with the National Weather Service, they were getting some reports that common drainage issues, where we find low-lying areas and construction areas in Valverde County and even northern Maverick County, we're seeing some water over the roads there.
Yep, that makes sense. All right, turn those off, and there we have it. There's that line. Yes, we are under severe thunderstorm watch because we've been watching for severe thunderstorms tonight for quite a while, and they're still a little far away from San Antonio. We still have several hours to go, but we are expecting them to make it here before midnight, a little before midnight, and then to affect us into the night and then off and on into tomorrow as well.
And some people are weighing in on the chat here about the watch. And Heather saying, personally, we shouldn't have the watches. They scare more than they help.
Amen, Heather.
Agree. Shawnette,
Agreed.
A watch means conditions are favorable. A warning means it is happening.
Yeah, there you go. Way to go, Shawnette. I love it.
Nice job.
Oh, you just made my day. That's great. But I agree with Heather. It's like it's alarming.
Right.
And we now have the ability to say, 2, 3, sometimes 4 days out, hey, we could have some severe storms that day. That's as good as a watch. It's better than a watch, if you ask me, because we're watching for it. We're already saying conditions are favorable. We show you those maps with a 2 to 5, a scale of 2 to 5, the severe weather risk maps. That's as good as a watch, in my opinion. All right, so I just think we need to do away with these watches and a lot of the alerts that come out. Why does everything have to have a title or a product, right? Anyway, okay, moving on. Notice our Futurecast having the leading edge of this Boeing line near Uvalde at 9 p.m. I think that's actually pretty much on par, pretty close to what should happen. And then moving eastward, progressing eastward, and probably making it to Bexar County by 11 p.m. or so. Between 11 p.m. and midnight, moving through San Antonio, lasting all the way to 2 a.m. for locations east of town. And then off and on throughout the day tomorrow, we're going to have some areas of heavy rain, lightning and thunder, flash flooding, a threat and a risk through the entire weekend. We're expecting the areas of flash flooding to be possible because of the heavy amount of rain, the high amount of rain in a short amount of time. Speaking of rainfall, we could be talking a good 3 to 5 inches between now and the end of the weekend with locally higher amounts. So that's a pretty impressive amount of rain that we haven't seen here in a long time.
And even with the storms that are moving in right now, we have a weather watcher out in Del Rio who was reporting from this part of the storm that moved through quickly. He was able to pick up between 1.5 to 2 inches.
Oh yeah, let's look at those rainfall summaries and some of the rainfall estimates. So quick, nearly 2 inches in parts of Del Rio. Let's look at the radar estimates here. Turning all this off, and I moved those, didn't I? No, I didn't. I didn't on this radar. Anywho. Okay, yep, oops. Yeah, see that yellow? That's 2 inches of rain. Red across the border is even more, but the yellow's 2 inches of rain. So look at the west side of Del Rio, 2.1, just north, 2.1. You get up Highway 90. I love Highway 90 out there. It's beautiful. Lake Amistad area, 1.9. Up the Devil's River, 2.1. You look at 2 inches around Lake Amistad. So I'd say a safe bet is 2 inches right along the Rio Grande. So far, slightly lesser amounts eastward, but remember, it's still raining in some of those locations. And then around Brackettville, this little bullseye here of 2 inches of rain. Boom, boom, 2.3 inches of rain. So that's the history with this line that has developed. That's a history in terms of rainfall totals. And so, yes, that gives us an idea of the potential. Just for this quick hit of rain, we could have 2 inches. But then you add on top of it more rainfall and more heavy rain at times Saturday and Sunday and even Monday. And that's going to potentially create some issues in those low-lying areas, those low water crossings, the flood-prone areas. Now, you know your neighborhood, your typical drive to your HEB, to work, to school, whatever. You know, to church even, because we're going Sunday. You know your neighbor, your drives better than I do. And if there's ever a low spot that's often, fills with water, anticipate there to be some water and potentially an area where you just want to turn around and find a different direction, find a different route to go. Anyway, Rock Springs, you're starting to get the beginning of this. Lakey, you still have about 20, 35 minutes. 30 minutes, 35 minutes, yep. Concan, Uvalde, it's coming your way. I mentioned the drought, and I want to point this out because with so much good rain coming our way, this is the percent of normal precipitation, okay? So percent of normal, if we were at 100%, that means we'd have our average amount of precipitation over the past 365 days. So this is 1 year. We're at 68%. I'd say it averages about 60% around San Antonio. So about 65% of our normal precipitation. We're obviously 45% shy there. You go east of town where we don't have a drought, and that's where they have had a little surplus compared to average. Karnes County, 133%. Cuero, 120%. It's good to see that, but clearly we need to make up a lot of ground here up into the hill country. And you look at the drought monitor, we're getting the good rain on top of this area. It's moving where we need it. Now this cluster of storms is not going to eliminate the drought, but it will bust it. It'll bite and put a little dent in the drought. Take that, maybe an elbow, right? Yes.
New in from the National Weather Service, a tornado warning is going out for Dimmitt County. Radar indicated at this time. Yeah,
that's for that lone cell down there, huh?
Looks like it, yes.
All right, well, let's tell them we got to hop on air quick for this too, okay? Is that cool? Can you guys
I'll
hear
go grab
Marty
them.
and everybody? That's for this cell right here. So radar indicated. Let's take a look at it. It's got a unique shape. It's moving to the north. Moving to the north-northwest. That's an interesting one. Anyway, that's the one that we'll probably have that tornado warning on. Radar indicated tornado. Look at this.
They're getting everything set up.
Okay. Ooh, 68-mile-per-hour gust measured Lakeview in Valverde County. It's probably around Lake Amistad.
Probably so.
Right.
That actually might be our Weather Watchers report.
Hello, Adam Caskey here, along with Mia Montgomery in the KSAT 12 Weather Center. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning and now a tornado warning for southern Dimmitt County, and this is until 8:10 p.m. It's not listed here on the screen right now, but it's going to pop up. There's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing, there it is. There's a tornado warning, that flashing red area.
And that will go through 8:45.
Thank you. That's through 8:45 p.m. Quick update on this potential tornado. Doppler radar indicated we have severe thunderstorms elsewhere west of San Antonio, but this one situation where we've got some tighter rotation within the thunderstorm, turning off the lightning and all this other stuff. And it's this area just west of Carrizo Springs. Just west of Carrizo Springs and moving to the northwest, so moving away from Carrizo Springs. But it's where we have these colors right here, this green and red. That indicates the circulation, that counterclockwise circulation. So that's the potential tornado within this thunderstorm west of Carrizo Springs. and it's headed to the northwest into southwestern Zavala County, but staying west of Crystal City at the moment. That's the forecast with it, staying out of Eagle Pass at the moment. We are tracking this live on the KSAT Weather Authority app and on KSAT.com. We'll have the more updates there. Okay, thank you. All right, all. Okay, so there's that warned area. And sorry, I just had to step off. Look at this. Moving to the north at 20. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, please.
What time? 8:10 you said?
8:45.
45.
8:45 is when the warning goes through.
It'll probably end sooner than that, but
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay. There we go. Now we're getting better look at the rest of this. We'll get back to that warning. Now we've got a better look at that wind. See, for a while the wind was along that zero ISO dot, and it made it hard for us to really see the movement. But now we got it. Okay. All right. Back to the tornado warning. This is, that's some tighter rotation. Now, this is one of the warnings that our local National Weather Service will put out and could very well be a tornado. Right now it's radar indicated, but it's in a very rural part of Texas. And a lot of this too is, private land and, acreage, hundreds, sometimes thousands of acres. And so it's hard to tell, it's hard to actually spot a touchdown. Now, this will be crossing over 277, and it's not very far away from 277. I'm going to circle the area of possible tornado right here, and then we're going to track that northward at, it was what, 20?
20.
Yeah. Okay, so that would take it to Cometa at 8:44 p.m. So Cometa, you need to be inside, interior room, get ready, this is headed your way, but crossing over 277 at 8:40 p.m. So 8:40 p.m. I'd say is probably the best bet. So within 25 minutes or so. Yeah, that's a little less than that. We would expect that to be there. Anyway, that's moving in, and that's moving northward. That will cross over 277. But what I was getting to earlier, sometimes these actually do turn into a touchdown, but sometimes we'll never know because we can't go out and verify on these vast acres of private land and stuff. It just doesn't always work out. So sometimes in these rural parts of Texas, we run into that issue with verifying whether or not there was actually a touchdown. Anyway, this is the worst part of the storm when it comes to the potential for a tornado, and we'll go to the shear rate here. Here we go. This is a good product right here that shows you where the spin and the rotation is within the thunderstorm. And you get right there into it, right in that one spot where it's strong. That's west of Carrizo Springs. That's where it's most likely to have, if it drops a tornado, just north of FM 2644, this area here of strong rotation. This is a rotation detector within our radar technology, and that's going to be tracking northward. And also, it looks like there's a little history of rotation with it. You look at the swath where we've detected shear, and that's right there, and then the warning came out. So that's the area of most concern. Fortunately, if you're going to have a tornado warning, it's in a very rural part of South Texas. I mean, we're talking west of Carrizo Springs and staying outside of Carrizo Springs, staying outside of Crystal City. Looks like the hail's about to cross over 277 at the moment. But this is the tornado warning that's in effect until 8:45 p.m. I know Carrizo Springs, you're close to it. Luckily, it's moving away from you. I would just stay off 277 here, where it parallels the Zavala County line. I would stay off 277 for quite some time, probably until 9 p.m. at least, even longer than that, because this is crossing over right now. So that's the tornado warning. We also have the severe thunderstorm warning that's now just in this bowing portion of the storm that's approaching Lakey, and then also up in Rock Springs. So from Rock Springs to Lakey, Camp Wood, it's moving in right now, basically. Show you Camp Wood. It's hitting basically as we speak. And once it hits, you get the big wind right away. This indicates the highest winds, Barksdale to Camp Wood, even down to Montel. And these are the highest winds where you have these brighter, almost whites or pinks, pink to white colors. And we're looking a little high in the atmosphere, but it's clocking 53 up there. These can sometimes still put out some gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that's a concern. But bottom line, this is the leading edge of the wind that's headed off to the northeast at the moment. So we're timing it out earlier for you. If you're watching in Lakey, you are downstream from this, and you're going to be getting it eventually. Lakey, let's put a time on it for you. You can expect it in Lakey, 8:44 p.m. That's still pretty much in line with what we had been saying. I'd say a little closer to 8:40, moving into Lakey. Concan, now you're under the warning. Concan and Uvalde, you're underneath the warning. Concan moving in at 8:50. 8:50. You can expect that in Concan. So all of this is away from San Antonio, not in the San Antonio area, but coming together. You look at the evolution of it and the lightning, turning off the lightning so it's not too distracting. And you just see the radar echoes along with the warnings that are in place. And it's slowly coming together as we had expected. You know, this coming together and then organizing and moving eastward. Either way, we'll get some rain out of it. May weaken a little bit before it gets to San Antonio, which I'm fine with, but either way, we're going to get some rain out of it with the potential of some strong winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, maybe some localized hail around an inch in diameter when it gets to San Antonio a little before midnight. But the threat of tornadoes pretty low, and that's just the one little warning that we have, which is far away from San Antonio. So you see there is a tornado warning on the map, but from downtown San Antonio, that's 115 miles away from downtown. And now we have this lower level lock on it too. See that spin? That's the potential tornado within this part of the thunderstorm that's headed toward Cometa. There we go. See that? It's circling it for us. And that's where we have the strong shear. So that potential tornado is only, let's see, Carrizo Springs, here you are. That's only 8 miles from Carrizo Springs. 7.8 miles from Carrizo Springs is that radar indicated potential tornado. And that's the primary threat out there. Again, thankfully it's in a pretty rural area. We never like to see those in the first place, but it is very rural out there, and that's where the worst of it is in terms of the potential wind and tornado. Otherwise, straight line wind threat as this heads into, we're moving through Rock Springs now, but Camp Wood currently, Lakey, Concan, Uvalde, you're up next for this bowing segment. And this is what we look for when we have these clusters of storms that come together. We look for these segments that bow out just like this. They make that bow shape, right? Kind of like a bow. And that's where we get the strongest winds, right there on the leading edge of it typically, and where it's bowing out. Now what we will watch for is this part to organize down to the south, and this organizing, and then what wouldn't surprise me is if this organizes, which it should, if this organizes here and then bows out and heads our way. towards San Antonio, okay? And even Pearsall, Divine, Natalia, Hondo. Wouldn't surprise me if that happens with the southern extent of this line. Overall, this is gonna be some good rain for us. I'm gonna take a look at a few of our products, and this one's interesting. Let's see how this does. Future lightning, okay? Where'd the county lines go? Oh, come on, you goofy computer. Okay, 9:21, 9:45, 10, 11. This is both cloud to cloud and cloud to ground lightning. This is just one model that's not all that reliable typically. And it has it off to the west at midnight. Now, I think that's going to be hitting San Antonio at that point. Anyway, that's just one of our products that we can look at if we want to, but clearly that one wasn't even worth looking at. You know, just because we have access to a lot of data and we have more models and higher resolution models doesn't mean they're any good necessarily. It doesn't mean they're beneficial and all that helpful. Sometimes it actually can hurt your forecast process when they're way off and you shouldn't be trusting them, right? So anyway, I'm not going to be trusting that model right there. But this is all headed our way, and maybe we can take a quick break and come on back in just a bit. Just want you to know, those of you, Leakey, Concan, Uvalde, Sabinal, this is headed your way. Leading edge is going to be the worst. It's coming. And the leading edge is going to be where you have the strongest wind for a while and heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning and thunder, and even some hail within this. Potentially hail of an inch in diameter, maybe the size of a quarter or so. And once it passes, let us know what you saw. Upload it, KSAT Connect. Right here in our Weather Authority app, you can upload it on KSAT Connect. But let us know what you saw and what happened and if there's any damage. I mean, trampolines are notorious for getting flipped around. Lawn furniture can get moved around pretty easily. Lost Maples, Utopia, Concan, you're next in line. Give you an ETA of this. Concan, 8:45. Utopia, 9:08. Leakey, 8:42. Lost Maples. If you're in Lost Maples, say you're out there in the state natural area and you're camping or whatever, they have campsites there at Lost Maples? They have campsites, right? I forgot if they have actual campsites there.
No, I'm pretty sure that they do.
Yeah, they do, right? They have camp. Anyway, if you're in Lost Maples, if you're out there enjoying Lost Maples, time to get in a car, get in a vehicle, or better yet, get into a structure. If there's any kind of building, and I'm not talking like a covered patio type thing.
If they got like some bathroom
picnic,
structures
yeah,
or
bathroom
something,
structure, something
that would be
like
best.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not one of those covered eating areas, picnic areas. No, Lost Maples, you need to get inside, even if you're in and around beautiful Utopia. Time to be indoors. Remember, you are safe in your car from all this lightning. You will be safe. A car keeps you safe from lightning. All right, that's what's headed our way. We're going to take a quick little break and analyze stuff, unless you have anything to add, Mia.
I haven't really seen any reports come through. Just the biggest things that people are asking in the YouTube chat. When is this moving into San Antonio? What are the threats that we're monitoring this evening? Generally, if the storm motion holds, we could see this line start to move into western Bexar County a little bit before midnight. But here in San Antonio, no issues right now, and that will be the case over the next few hours. And in terms of threats, the biggest thing that we're going to need to monitor, not just today, but really over the next several days with additional times of rain expected, some areas of flash flooding certainly possible, but with this particular complex that we're looking at right now, we have those severe thunderstorm warnings in place, and that mainly is for a straight-line wind threat. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts have been noted. Yes, some embedded hail has been found, but for the most part, the hail size that I've seen, Adam, has really been below the severe threshold for the most part.
Yeah.
Again, to become a severe thunderstorm just from the hail itself needs to be up to a quarter size of a quarter. From what I've seen, for the most part, it's just been penny to nickel size at best.
Well, look at that rainfall potential. This is through Sunday night, but this is just one model output, but it's pretty much a consensus, good 2 to 4 inches, maybe even 3 to 5 inches with locally higher amounts possible, considering we've already seen 2 inches in parts of this line. All you need to do is add a few more, which I think we could very well do Saturday and Sunday to add more to it. So.
And Adam had a great point earlier. You know your drives and the routes that you typically take better than anybody else does. So if you have some low-lying areas, if you cross over a few bridges that are near streams and creeks and things like that, or even some construction zones, you know the areas that are typically prone to seeing some water issues and things like that. So that's just something to be very aware of and cognizant of here, not just tonight, but really throughout the weekend, with some rain chances sticking around at times too.
But as you can see around San Antonio, in the clear right now, we are all good, no problems. It's a little before midnight, say by 11 p.m. Be very weather aware, even 10 to 11 p.m. Be weather aware, and we'll be here to keep you updated. Storms are now speeding up a bit, coming in a little ahead of schedule. We've got our storm chances up to 80% by 11 p.m. So by 11 p.m., we're expecting them to move into the San Antonio area, and thereafter through 2 a.m. will be affected around Bexar County and surrounding communities. Latest futurecast, although not perfect, it's pretty much in agreement with our line of thought around 11 o'clock, midnight. Even 1, 2 a.m. showers and storms moving through. The biggest threat will be straight line winds, potentially up to 60 to 70 miles per hour as the line initially hits around 11 p.m. And then areas of heavy rain and the potential for flash flooding, not just tonight, but even throughout the weekend with more rain on the way. More development on the backside of this initial push. So elevated, we're talking widespread showers and storms, 70 to 80% chance there through the noon hour on Saturday, and then dropping off a little bit into the afternoon and evening. Sunday, some periods of rain, intermittent showers and storms across south and central Texas. In the 70s for highs all weekend. Flash flooding poses a threat all the way through Monday with heavy rainfall embedded with those showers and storms.